What's going on YouTube? To be honest with you guys, didn't really feel like recording today, but I do this every Thursday, so I figured that I'd try to keep the trend going. So by the way, I'm not sad. If I sound sad, I'm not sad. I'm all right. I don't know. My mom said I sounded sad today. I'm okay. But as per usual, we start things off with Monday Night Raw. Gonna try to format this one a little bit differently. I'm gonna focus on just the major things as I did last time. So one of the important things right at the start of the show, we had a six-man tag elimination bout with Elias, Finn Balor, and Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre. And it looked like it was going to be a clean sweep for a bit as Baron Corbin's team would eliminate Elias and Finn Balor. And then, I think Elias got eliminated by countout, by the way. But regardless of that, Finn Balor actually got pinned. But anyways, like Braun Strowman was going to mount some huge comeback and then probably try to get his hands on Baron Corbin. And of course, he'd be interrupted. But no, instead, every member of Team Baron gets themselves disqualified. And they end up beating down Braun Strowman. They hit his arm, or Baron hits his arm with the steel steps to his elbow. The reason why they did this attack, by the way, in case you're wondering if you haven't seen Raw, the reason for this attack was because Baron Corbin has to face Braun Strowman. He was like, well, I mean, I'll have to face him if he makes it. And I guess that makes sense for him to do this. Plus, in real life, in reality, Braun Strowman has some sort of bone spurs. I actually don't know what that is, but he has to have surgery. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but he's going to be out for a while. Next thing, we also see Lars Sullivan might debut on Raw, but then we also saw him advertised on SmackDown. I don't know what the deal is there. I guess I have to find out for myself. And all throughout the night, we have Seth Rollins on the hunt for Dean Ambrose to get some revenge. And he's not able, well, actually we'll get to that, but basically all throughout the night you see segments of him trying to chase down Dean, but never actually finding him. And sometimes Dean would be right next to him and he wouldn't even notice him. Dean did some great heel work. I really enjoyed all the segments and the payoff in the end of the show, but we'll get to that. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable defeated AOP to become, well, I don't know if they're going to be number one contenders, but it would only make sense for them to become number one contenders, defeating AOP, perhaps in a fluke fashion, catching, I believe it was Akam off guard and getting him into a pin. We also have Ronda Rousey defending her Raw Women's Championship against Mickie James, squashing her. The reason why she defended because she wanted to, basically she wanted someone to fight because she was pissed off at what Charlotte did to her at Survivor Series. So at the end of the night, Dean comes out to the ring after Seth Rollins appears to have left the arena. And he's talking about him. He's explaining why he turned on the Shield. At one point, he mentioned Roman's leukemia and how he was paying for the things they did in the Shield because he had leukemia. Pretty messed up. I don't think he meant that as in that's the truth. I think he was playing mind games with Seth Rollins. I think he's torturing Seth Rollins for something more. Maybe I'm wrong. But regardless of that, Seth Rollins comes out to the ring. He and Dean get into an altercation. It's very one-sided in the beginning up until a low blow from Dean Ambrose, which is subsequently followed by a dirty deeds. On Instagram, I saw that apparently he apologized as he was doing the dirty deeds. I don't know why he apologized. I don't know what's going on there. Still can't figure this out. And why are they not addressing these comments that the fans are hearing? I don't know. We move on to SmackDown Live. I would say it was better than Raw, but it still wasn't very good, in my opinion. Not a lot really happened. Charlotte comes out to the ring and she is fined 100K, basically. I was going to say 100 and 1,000. That wouldn't make any sense. Regardless, after her attack on Ronda Rousey. Paige was okay with this, but she was not okay with her attacking the 5 officials. A lot of money being placed there. But then Peyton and Billie Kay are like, hey, you don't have to fine Charlotte that much money. you can just pay us to take her out for you. That's basically what they were getting at. I think some people missed that. I don't know. They come out, so Charlotte's like, okay, which one of you is gonna get this ass beating, basically. A lot of her promos sounded kind of forced and seemed kind of natural. And even Becky Lynch has been commenting on this about how Charlotte now is acting kind of like Becky Lynch while Becky Lynch is gone. Anyways, Charlotte defeats Billie Kay, and then she faces Peyton Royce, but then Billie Kay interferes when Peyton Royce seems like she's about to lose. And Charlotte beats them both down, smashing their heads against the announce table a few times, and also got a double spear, which was a pretty cool spot if you ask me. Anyways, The Miz tries to get Shane to be his tag team partner. This wasn't really an important thing, but I guess this is just a new angle for The Miz. He's going to try to befriend Shane, and maybe that'll get him into a WWE Championship opportunity. He ends up getting pinned by a jobber. That's pretty embarrassing, but it happened. New Day beats the Bar in Thanksgiving Feast battle. It was a fun matchup, but, you know, nothing to write home about. Mandy and Sonya, I thought they were broken up, but apparently they're still kind of a team. I don't really know what's going on there. But they end up losing to Asuka and Naomi. I mean, I like seeing Asuka, you know, win with her submission and whatnot, but this whole tag team in the women division thing, like, where is this going? They keep doing these, but it's just like, if they're not chasing after the champion, and like it's two people going against one or something like that, I don't see the point of having tag teams if there's not going to be a tag team championship as well. It's just a bit weird. Best part of the night comes around. We have Daniel Bryan explaining his actions as to why he turned heel against AJ Styles. Basically, he was saying that he has to fight for his dreams, and your dreams will fight for you. He fought for his dreams, and his dreams fought for him when he kicked AJ Styles in the balls. It was his dreams that did that, not him. He seems very deluded, very heelish fashion doing that. He also mentions how the yes chants were dying down. Some people may disagree with that. I think they were dying down. Like when he first came back, he was like, oh, hey, it's Daniel Bryan, yay. But then like you saw him every week and it was like, oh, hey, it's Daniel Bryan, yay. You know, like it just got quieter and quieter. Like, still appreciate him as a wrestler, but people were saying he was just booked as being another wrestler. He wasn't really booked as being Daniel Bryan, you know. So he doesn't really care for their opinions anymore. He doesn't do the yes chants anymore. Now he comes to the ring like the shooter. So that's cool. We'll see what happens there, I guess, next week. Also scheduled to face, he's going to be facing, damn it, AJ Styles, championship rematch in a matchup. I forget what kind of match. Also Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins at TLC, and also Baron Corbin versus Braun Strowman in a TLC match. I forgot to mention those earlier. That's my fault. The main event, Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton. This goes all the way back to Crown Jewel when Rey Mysterio would defeat Randy Orton with a roll-up. They battle it out in the ring. It's a good matchup. It's not the best matchup ever, but it's a solid match. And Randy Orton hits a really cool RKO. He catches... Rey Mysterio has been doing it the past couple of weeks since he came back. This baseball slide splash to the floor. And Randy Orton caught him with an RKO. That was pretty dope. Not really a suicide dive RKO, but an RKO no less. Anyways, Randy Orton ends up beating Rey Mysterio with 2 RKOs back to back. And then he takes off the mask of Rey Mysterio and also rams him into the steel post with a chair wrapped around his neck. Gruesome stuff. Randy Orton reigning supreme for the night, so I guess it's going to build into TLC. Or maybe we won't see Rey Mysterio for a while, and maybe Randy Orton will just move on to another victim. I have no clue what's going to go on there. I just watched NXT. Actually, hold on. As I was saying, I just watched NXT UK, so all this is fresh in my mind. We got Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley both qualifying for the semifinals of the tournament, this UK Women's Championship tournament. That's cool. Jordan Devlin versus El Ligero was a good matchup. One of my favorite matches this week. I enjoyed that. And yeah, nothing else really happened. I mean, Dave Mastiff won his match as expected. Nothing else to really write home about. So I guess next week we'll see the finals. for the women's championship? I don't know. We'll see. Akira Tozawa and Brian Kendrick on 205 Live. They take on local competitors and really flourish as a tag team finally. You know, starting to get those miscommunications out of the way and start to become more of a team. We also had Tony Nese versus Noam Dar. Good matchup, but in the end, Tony Nese picks up the victory. It's just going to keep building Tony Nese. That's good. Grand Metalik and TJP put on a great match, and what happened? I think Metalik won, and then Maria came out freaking out. Like, it made me look at the screen again, and it, like, a lot of people had to look and see what was going on. It seemed real, but then she was just overacting, and then Mike Kanellis came out and he attacked Grand Metalik with a steel chair. Lucha House Party tried to come down there and help, but they got bodied too. Move on to NXT. Most of the wrestling this week hasn't been that great for WWE, but the matches, you know, had some good matches, some good segments, but collectively each of the shows have not been overall good. Very weird when that happens. But Keith Lee beats down Fidel Bravo, and then in a squash match. Then Lars Sullivan does the same. Then he tries to deal more damage to the local competitor, and Keith Lee comes out and stops him with a pounce. So they're going to have a little rivalry, and I think Keith Lee is going to retire Lars Sullivan from NXT. I think that's where this is headed. Then you have Nikki Cross versus Candice LeRae. I knew this match was probably going to happen at some point. It did, and it was a good matchup. We got to see a little bit of dark side from Candice LeRae. Some interesting spots with the avalanche German suplex. We saw someone finally kick out of the Purge for the first time, as they mentioned in the commentary. I didn't know that. Like, I knew in the back of my mind, sort of. I didn't remember anybody ever having someone kick out of that. But regardless, Candice LeRae is the first. Uses the Gargano escape. Surprisingly, Nikki Cross actually gets out of it. Doesn't tap. I thought she was going to, but she didn't. So that made the match all the more interesting. And then Nikki Cross would finally defeat Candice LeRae. So I guess Nikki Cross now is going to go on to the main roster, or maybe they're going to do some more with her on NXT. I don't know. Overall, though, I liked what I saw from Nikki Cross and Candice LeRae. I didn't really like anything on 205 Live. I'm not even joking. I liked El Ligero versus Jordan Devlin, and then a UK women's tournament thing still going on. I like that. What was the other thing I liked? I like the Dean Ambrose and stuff on Raw, and I like Bobby Roode and Chad Gable actually finally moving on to the tag team championships. It seems like, so that's good. That's good. It's just been a very weird week of wrestling. Pretty underwhelming. And I hope next week is a fuck ton better. I hope it's not downhill from here. I think everybody's hoping that likes WWE. But we'll see what goes down. You know, anything can happen between now and then. And hopefully Braun Strowman will be able to make it to TLC. And hopefully we get some more matches announced as well. But regardless, thanks for watching.